Let's proceed now to take a look at some other news. The role of corporate governance and winning strategies for Nigeria companies looking to build lasting institutions was the focus of the Pearl Awards 30th Anniversary Summit held today in Lagos. In attendance were some members of the House of Reps, head of the SEC, Security and Exchange Commission, chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group, and some business executives. Here is their thoughts.
Pearl Awards 30th Anniversary Corporate Summit with the theme Built to Last, a roadmap for corporate Nigeria. Today, we also celebrate the public presentation of our commemorative publication, Winning Strategies of Nigeria's Corporate Giants, a documentation of remarkable success, stories, and enduring corporate values that have stood the test of time in our nation's business landscape. 30 years ago, the Pearl Awards was born out of a bold and audacious vision, a vision to recognize and reward excellence, transparency, and integrity in the Nigerian capital market, a vision to promote sound corporate governance and performance-based competition among quoted companies. It was a vision that some considered overtly ambitious and even idealistic at that time. But here we are today, 3 decades later, stronger, solid, more relevant, and ever more committed to our founding ideals. Our journey has not been without challenges, from market uncertainties to macroeconomic shocks, regulatory transitions, and even moments when the very relevance of awards and recognitions was doubted. Yet through it all, the Pearl Awards remained resolute, resilient, and responsive, adapting to changes, evolving with the times, staying true to our mission. And that is why today's summit is not just a celebration of years, it is a celebration of purpose, of tenacity, and of impact.
Nigeria's history is marked by resilience, yet we must confront an undeniable truth. Few indigenous enterprises survive beyond a generation, and even fewer reach the century milestone. As Mr. Tayo Orekoya, CEO of the Pearl Awards, rightly noted, many enduring institutions were founded by foreign entities. This reality underscores an urgent need for homegrown strategies that foster organizational longevity, operational excellence, and legacy building. The SEC stands committed to enabling this transformation through adaptive regulation, investor protection, market integrity, the cornerstones of sustainable growth. In recent years, global regulatory bodies, including Nigeria's SEC, have recalibrated their approaches to balance oversight with innovation. We recognize that excessive rigidity stifles growth, while strategic flexibility cultivates resilience. The key initiatives driving our vision include crypto asset regulation, learning from global peers like the US SEC Crypto Task Force. We are developing clear framework to integrate digital assets into Nigeria's capital markets. This ensures investor safety without compromising innovation. Streamlined disclosure regimes. We prioritize financial materiality over peripheral mandates, avoiding the pitfalls of regulatory overreach, exemplified by failed policies like the US conflict minerals rule, which impose costs without achieving social objectives. Social engagement, inspired by Brunel's Global Good Governance Standards, we champion transparency through roundtables and industry dialogues, ensuring regulations reflect market realities. Drawing from global best practice and Nigeria's unique context, we propose 5 pillars for enduring enterprises. Corporate governance must transcend compliance to embody ethical leadership. The SEC Philippines 3G Championship Award in ESG practice demonstrates how governance fuels trust and competitiveness. Nigerian firms should, therefore, implement board diversity and independent oversight, align executive incentives with long-term stakeholder value, not short-term gains. However, ESG is no longer optional even in this case. It is a strategic imperative. Companies and all over the place exemplify sustainability, drives resilience, and our roadmap urges climate risk integration into financial disclosure, circular economic models, mirroring Goodwill Sustainable Championship Awards, who balance social impact, environmental stewardship, and profitability.
I began my doctoral research in July 1982. And my research was focused on how companies in Nigeria are financed. So it was on capital structure. So the primary data I used was drawn from the companies listed on what we call then the Nigerian Stock Exchange in 1984. Only 42 companies were listed in 1984 on the stock exchange in Nigeria. Only 42. So now, for the purpose of this conversation, I looked at the stocks listed today and asked myself, how many of them are still in operation? Because 1984 to 2025 is quite some distance. All right? So, and I discovered that, and this is good for us, 26 of those companies have survived and remain listed on the NGX board as of today. But that is 62%, which is quite strong, by the way. But out of the 26 companies listed in 1984 and today that have survived, only one is of Nigerian origin. The rest of them are foreign. So that means if we now sit back and ask ourselves, between 1985 and year 2000, companies that were in existence then and are still in operation today, there should be some lessons we can draw from them. So there are not so many Nigerian companies that have lasted over 100 years in operation. Very few. When I researched that and did a count, I found only 6. Only 6 Nigerian entities have operated for over 100 years. Now the big question is, why is it so? We can also ask the corollary of a question, why not? So where I started from is why Nigerian companies don't last. Our research done highlighted a number of factors, but I shortlisted them to 8. Number 1, poor business planning and execution. And I think in the Goodwill messages we had earlier on, there was a reference to planning and execution.